Hello, I am the Inquisitive Reviewer, and I'm here again with Megan.
How you doing? Glad to be back.
And today is May 14th, the last day before the release of Netflix's Kakegurui-inspired Bet. Megan, you saw the first season of the anime. What do you think of this adaptation?
I think it's horrible. The first season was unique,
Interesting.
interesting to say the least. They're kind of out there, but this to me is a cheap ripoff. Horrible, horrible, horrible.
Yeah, from reading the different comments that people making about Bet on the internet, either on YouTube, Reddit, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call
All
it.
of them.
I don't know of anyone that's really looking forward to it and think it's going to be a good show. The best I can see is some people just said like they're going to give it the benefit of the doubt, or they just want to see what it's going to be because they're curious. But I haven't seen anyone actually write that they're looking forward to it because they think it's going to be a good show based on Kakegurui.
It can't be. It's totally different. I mean, they have the insanity with gambling and whatever they're doing, but I mean, there's nothing the same. There's really
You
nothing the
see,
same except for that
you
insanity.
see some of the characters like who they're based on, but
There's
they
nothing
changed
like it.
they changed them too much. I was saying, like, with all the different anime out there, you pick this one to adapt,
I
which
know,
is so
right?
weird
Yeah.
already. And he changed it so much that
It's not
it,
it.
it had to be the way it was in order to work.
Yeah, it's not it. I don't know what it is.
I know the Japanese did a live action adaptation of it once before, and you could see who the characters were. And some of
Right,
them, like Mary, she wasn't a blonde, she had like brown hair. But you could tell who the characters were. They looked the part.
right. And they probably acted the same, kind of.
Now, this, they say it's not like the actual live action adaptation of. It's based in the West, but they say it's like Kakegurui inspired. But change it too
They
much.
changed it too much. It's
It's like
completely.
they changed it too much, but kept too many of the different things, like the bit of the eye patch, the mask. But they didn't even do that right with her mask.
No, that's ridiculous because it was supposed to keep her that you didn't know who she was.
That was the important thing, that they were identical twins.
Now it's like she's got a COVID mask on. It's ridiculous.
That's what they're all saying, the COVID mask.
Well, it is.
That's
You
all
can
it
see
is.
who it is.
Yeah.
It brings me back to like the days of Superman when he put on a mask and now you don't know who he is. Same thing.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. That I guess they're not twins in this. They got identical twins. They can't be.
No. So they're changing that completely.
They uh they released the first names of these characters, not their last names. So I don't know if they're still supposed to be twins, but not identical twins. But that was the important part. They're the identical twins.
Yeah, to impersonate
Yeah.
the other. Yeah.
So once you get rid of that, then there's the other reason for the mask that comes in later into the manga that they didn't actually show in the first series. You saw it in season 2 when Mary finally ripped her mask off.
Right.
But for the early part of the story, that's all it was an impersonation.
Right.
Especially with the game when Yumiko was going against Kaede with choice poker.
Right. Right.
You know, the bit that you thought the president left, but she didn't really
But she
leave
didn't
the
really
vice
leave.
president. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go over all the characters too, but before that, it is the first video we did since, what was it, the Mario movie? I think it was the last one we did.
Probably.
Either that or another. I never thought this would be the show that the first show we would speak about when we come back, but we're gonna hope to do more videos about different shows and stuff. Okay, so the characters. This article from comicbook.com came out on April 18th, but to my knowledge, this was the first main release of all the characters and the first look at the cast with the picture. Miku Martineau as Yumiko. That's a thing. They kept the same name as her, Yumiko.
Now she looks okay. The character's acting different because I didn't see her fighting like this one does.
Yeah.
But she looks okay for the part. Looks,
That's what the people that are criticizing it, which is the vast majority, they're all saying that she, the actress, is like doing the best she can for the part.
Yeah. They didn't give her much to go with.
No.
Yeah.
The other ones, you can't really see how they're doing or how much of it was the studio who just changed the show so much.
Yeah, as far as their acting, I can't say anything about them.
She's the only one
It's not them.
Yeah, It doesn't matter who the actor is when you give a great actor a horrible part, nothing to work with.
Yeah, and
It's going to be bad.
and I don't even really know how they are doing as far as the part that they actually have.
Yes.
Like the sister is not the sister,
Yeah.
so how she's doing and what she can
It
might
was
be
really
alright, but
the first season. She didn't really speak at all.
no.
It was just when you saw the president leave on the plane, and then when she was sitting in the house in the kimono with that meat, and you only see later that it was really the sister. But that was all you saw her speak
That's
at
it,
all.
yeah.
And that she just stood there with the mask.
Mm-hmm.
Which, okay, here she's still standing there with the mask, but
That is so messed
it doesn't
up.
make sense anymore.
It's messed up on every level. I mean,
That's the main poster for it from Netflix.
mm-hmm.
They say, okay, she has a blue lipstick, but even that's the wrong color. I think, though, that was only in the show she had blue. In the comic, I think she had pink lipstick.
Oh really?
They change something sometimes. I think even Midari, they change her eye color. Okay, first off, I guess like the two sidekicks, who were Ryota and Mary. Mary, you thought, well, I thought at first she was going to be the main antagonist.
That's what it seemed like.
Then, yes. I thought she was going to be like the comic relief antagonist, and she ended up being the second sidekick.
Yeah, she seems okay.
So, as I noticed with the name, Yumiko, they kept as Yumiko. The other names, well, Mary, they kept as Mary, but a lot of them they kept similar that you know who they're supposed to
Right.
be.
Yeah.
Now here, Ayo Solanki, I'm sorry if I said that name wrong, as Ryan. I assume Ryan is like the counterpart for Ryota.
It could be, but...
But Ryota was always like scared.
Exactly.
And this guy's always like confident. What we've seen of him.
And may I say, though, I could see why he was scared.
Really. Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, to me, he was the most normalest one there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. But here outside the part in the trailer when it looks like he's running with that mask that they have duct taped on the mask and whatever, he looks confident, which Ryota never was.
No, not at all.
The other guy you see her with sometimes looks worried, so I don't know if they're both Ryota.
Like if they made two people.
If the one is Ryota when he's traumatized, the other one's Ryota when he's doing the gamble. They split him into two, or what they did. So that's Midari. Outside the iPad show, it's like a completely different character.
Yeah, I don't know if she's going to be as crazy here or what, but I think
she was disturbing, Midari.
Oh, yes. Now, okay, granted, I can understand why she would be, with everything that goes on.
Well, they're all cool. Well, she was one of the... It's like, as you were saying, that she didn't feel anything until the whole bit with the eye.
Yeah.
I don't know how much that twisted her.
I mean, that was terrible. That was really, really...
Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I haven't noticed yet is that we don't know really... I'm not talking about this rip-off copy.
Yeah.
But in the original, do we know if they actually ever kill anybody, really?
What we see, no.
But I thought I heard a mention or something somewhere along the line, but yet I've never seen it. Now that might have been in this.
That was in this, yeah. That's about the teacher, the students disappear.
They disappear, but and even there they said they don't know if they're dead or not.
The worst, as far as that, was Midari with her gun, the Russian roulette.
Yeah.
Well, she said that if she shot Yumiko and she would take her to the hospital quickly, normally don't die from one shot. If she got shot, for Yumiko not to worry about it, the president would take care of it.
Yeah,
because they couldn't have a school shooting ruin their reputation.
Yeah.
I don't know how they have a good reputation anyway.
I know. They mentioned that, the reputation. I'm saying, what kind of reputation?
Because the characters act like it's this great, prestigious school.
I know.
Well, you see, like, the parents are just as bad as the students.
Oh, yeah.
Kids.
Oh, yeah.
They're the ones that sent them there knowing what type of place it is.
I know, right?
But yeah, seeing Midari with the guns, that was like her main thing, the guns, Russian roulette.
Yeah.
Here, Dory, we see her with those oversized knives.
Yeah.
That she was throwing at Yumiko picture. Which Midari did, when Midari was thinking of Yumiko, she wasn't trying to hurt her. But she
I
was thinking,
know.
I mean, she
I
was thinking
know.
of playing Russian roulette, but she wasn't thinking of throwing them.
I know.
Forget about what she was doing, but.
Yeah, I know. I know the Russian roulette is a game there.
That's the best picture we got of him. Going by names, you have Kira, Kirari, Riri, Ririka.
Right.
So, Itsuki, we have Suki.
Right.
So, going by how the names are, and because we haven't seen anyone else, it seems that Ryan Sutherland's character Suki is a counterpart for Itsuki.
Well, probably, yeah.
So they made Itsuki
Yeah.
a boy.
I know. I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
We had Rex. At first, the people thought Rex was the counterpart for Runa. It was like one of the worst changes yet. Now, someone posted on Reddit who worked on the series said that isn't the counterpart of Runa, that Runa has a counterpart. So that leaves the question of who is Rex. Is that going to be the only really guy in the student council where I haven't seen a counterpart, at least an obvious one, is Kaede.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry after your display.
Yeah, I had to give him 2 points for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
The one bites out her nails.
I know, right?
Yumiko, forget what she's doing.
Yeah, I know. We don't even go there. And yeah, that made me laugh. I like that.
So I don't see him at all. At first, I thought it might have been that other guy that we saw. I showed you in the other picture, but he seems to be Yumiko's sidekick, so that can't be the.
He seemed to me to have like, okay, this is crazy, but like a sort of class.
Yeah, but I got about the whole bit taking the high road. It's like he was.
Yeah.
Like snobby, but you're not like the other ones.
No, different.
And Yuriko seemed to.
Yeah. But I mean, for him to even notice the display, I don't think they notice anything, you know?
But, we saw in the trailer, there's this small girl. At least she appears to be small. It's hard to see because she's in the background, but she had on this, not quite a hoodie, but some type of covering like a panda. So we think that she's the counterpart for Runa.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell if that's her there. That would look. The way that girl's there dressed would look more like the counterpart for Itsuki with the hair clip.
Right.
But we know Sutherland's name in the show is Suki. So it seems like unless she's going to get two counterparts too.
I don't know. And you know.
Yumemi, Yuriko, and Kaede, them, so at least to our knowledge, we haven't seen any counterpart of them. And the fans are actually saying, you know, they're glad because they don't want to see them get butchered too.
Well, I can understand that. I mean, we're not doing Disney here, but the same thing. They get a good show, and then they make a live show of it, and they destroy it.
And this show is so insane that you can't really change much about it and still have a show about just being just insanity.
I know.
Because when you get like Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, you get the astral like shows based on it with George C. Scott's Christmas,
right.
But you get the other shows on it,
right.
Based on it, like the one with Carrie Fisher. You can tell it's based on it, but you can still get a show that can stand on its own.
Right.
Because you get like Seven Samurai, you get the Magnificent Seven, you get a show that can stand on its own.
This is bringing me into mind of the Mario movie. The
Butcher Mario. That was my first question. I think some of their question was Homura Karamoto even aware of it? Did he have much of a say in it? The person who posted on Reddit said that he was aware of it and approved on it. Now I know though Miyamoto did approve of that first Mario movie. He thought that I don't remember the name of the studio, but the studio who made it was just going to make a Mario movie. He wasn't involved in it. And I think after seeing what they came out with, that's why he was actually there with Illumination, making sure that they didn't butcher it again. But they did say that he's approved of it to some point. I don't know how much, but he just approved of them doing a Western show based on it. I know though, that's what it's saying about this trend you think live action shows based on anime is ridiculous because how the anime characters look. Well, first you get the hairstyles and the eye colors, which most of them are in real colors. The majority,
But it could be done good, I
but the
think.
Japanese have done show besides this one. They did a live action show based on another. Now, of course, that was a movie, so they had to squeeze what was here a 12
Yeah.
part show into an hour and a half, so they had to trim off a lot of it. But it's when the West, speaking of Disney, we got the
Yeah, I
live
know.
action Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, that's going to be a bomb. I think we might be back for that one. Oh, boy.
Oh, May 23rd, so it's coming soon.
Unbelievable.
Less than 10 days.
That's crazy. Now, me, see, if I would not pay a dime to watch this. I wouldn't do it.
Which one? The Lilo and Stitch show.
Oh, well, both, honestly. But right now we're talking about
Yeah, I
this one
know.
here.
But, oh, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, live action shows based on anime. They did. We had a show based on Death Note and Dragon Ball. So when the people like comparing this to those shows,
Yeah.
that was before I really looked into it. I was aware of the live action show they did on Cowboy Bebop, and that at first it was like pretty accurate. From I didn't watch it from what I heard. At first it was pretty accurate, but then they sort of changed a lot from it. But
Right.
I think they said that if you didn't know the actual show, the original show, you would have thought it was okay. But if you
Right.
didn't know the actual show,
Yeah.
you would have liked it. This show, I think that this show, even if you knew the original show, you still wouldn't.
I
Because
don't.
you think it's
Yeah.
just like what are we doing?
Yeah. Like, did they get some mushrooms going?
Oh, probably.
And I don't mean shiitake. You know, I mean, there's something not right here.
They would have settled for that. They would have really wanted season 3. They would have settled for season 2 of the spin-off series Twin. That one you haven't seen. That's the one that saw as Mary.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard of it.
Especially that one because we had one season of it. It was only 6 episodes. I never heard of an anime series that's only 6 episodes. I know sometimes you'll get a show that's 3 episodes, but they're like a half hour, so then it's more like a movie.
Right.
They think of runtime.
Maybe they're thinking of how, maybe they weren't sure what they were going with it.
No, I think Twin is finished or nearly finished. Now they said for season 3, yeah, here that some of them said that the actual arc that they're doing now isn't fully complete, so they actually couldn't get season 3. And I said that Netflix isn't the animation studio or the studio that filmed it through the license, so they couldn't actually control who it is, but just the Kakegurui based shows. It's like season 3 or something part of it, more of Twin. Anything but this.
Yeah.
Even another Japanese live action, because they said they did portray the characters accurately.
They
looked. I saw clips of it. They did try to portray them accurately. You think about that, how these characters act, and try to portray that accurately. How
I
a
know.
person, because
I know that's not easy.
They did it complete with the special effects that make their eyes glow.
Right. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
could picture that. But they did do it. You could
best
tell
they
they did the
could.
best they could do.
Yeah.
The best they could do working with a show like Kakegurui. Now as we're getting closer, we've been getting more like promotional stuff.
Right.
For what I can see, the Kakegurui subreddit is the largest like Kakegurui fan, not club, but like a fan community here in the West anyway, or English speaking. We got these cards with the characters. That's too confident for the Yoda.
Yeah. I know. Huh.
That's Mary, which I haven't seen her do anything as Mary, like actual Mary's personality. That's
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
That's the number one thing that the fans have, because it doesn't even make sense. If you get rid of the mask, we all know who this is. Some of them were hoping that would be the counterpart of Itsuki, but I don't know unless she's gonna have 2 counterparts. That's the one I think is the counterpart of Suki. Well, Itsuki. His name's Suki.
I understand.
This why I said is that like another counterpart of Ryota, word Ryota and gambling Ryota. I don't know. I also saw this clip. I'm not going to play it because it's. I mean, it's on my. I didn't work on the show. It's on my. You know what I mean? It's I can show a still image. I don't want to really be showing the actual moving footage. I noticed just from now browsing the subreddit, some people posted interviews with the actresses. So I don't know if they're gonna say anything, but this is about well, what they call, because this is on there, the character, original character's name, Meriri, the ship between Mary and Ririka. Now she's just a Riri. Once they saw it being friends.
Yeah.
After the second, they saw it being friends more. Then some of them and some of the fans interpret them as being just friends. Some know they're starting to develop something between them. But they're promoting it here in the live action that as I did go into do. So I don't know if that's accurate.
Well, I mean,
I don't know if that's accurate to the original show because I haven't seen that far into the comic. But if they do say what is accurate, you know, you get the president with Sayaka.
Definitely.
Well, with Sayaka and I guess in the president's own twisted way, she does like Sayaka.
Oh, I think so.
It seemed like she'd kill herself, but then she had the map down there and she did jump.
I know.
Of course, she had the other thing that she could have killed herself in.
If she could have. We don't know really.
I think it's like she knew she was going to pick that door.
Yeah.
Somehow.
But yeah.
But as the fan saying, you don't see Sayaka in this at all.
Oh no?
Well, from what we can see, unless it's one of the girls we don't, doesn't seem to be because those ones seem to be more Yumiko. You don't see a counterpart of Sayaka either.
But maybe later on or something.
People wonder if they're going to do a second season, if they're going to bring her in, but then the other one say, who's actually wants a second season of this?
I don't know. But wasn't that
Velma?
Wasn't that renewed?
Well,
I mean that was the pits. That was worse than this, I think.
Some people, I don't really know how the shows work when they approve them. Some people think that they actually approve 2 seasons, but they just say, we got season 1 and we got season 2, so 2 seasons were originally approved.
Oh.
The first season, and this really the way you can measure success, the first season, I read something, I think it was true, that it was just as highly streamed as Wednesday, which was very successful, but because it's like people hate watched it. They wanted to see how atrocious it was that they hate watched.
Yeah, I can see that.
Season 2,
no,
it didn't exist because the
that
people.
one to me,
you got season 1 Velma. Okay, we know it's atrocious. I hate it. And this is why are you going back to you see season 2, you're just going back to punishment.
Yeah, because they were basically, well, I'll say normal characters, sort of. You know, they went there and got destroyed. But disgusting, terrible. These people, at least, they are warped to begin with.
Oh, they're all criminally insane, a lot of them.
So to me, that was even worse than this.
Yeah, I mean...
and that's saying something, I'll tell you, but...
The first episode, you thought Mary was very bad. Okay, she ended up changing, but when you get right down to what she was actually doing, was nothing compared to what the other ones did.
Oh, yeah.
You had...
I know it.
Well, June wasn't even in the student council, but he was trying to do the Yumiko.
Oh, yeah, terrible.
You had... Itsuki was very bad with the nails.
Yeah.
Then I guess the whole bit when she ripped them out, I don't know what type of teeth she has.
Ah.
She must have very good teeth.
I'd like to borrow them, not for my nails. I know what you're saying.
It must be Port Shark or something. I think that was like not redemption, but that was the whole bit that she was trying to pull them out of other people, but she couldn't risk it. I think that was why she did that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yuriko was snobbish, but Yuriko said she was like worse than a loan shark because she was the one that they lost so much money to that became the house that they got the life plan.
Right, yeah.
Which was forced marriage.
Yeah.
But she was also concerned about keeping the ones in her club from being house pets. But, yeah, Itsuki, June wasn't even the count. Really, Kirari was, but she just was the life plan's bad. Yeah. Midori, she wanted to get shot because she's sick, but they're playing Russian roulette.
I know.
Yeah, so I mean, okay.
I know, I'm sick.
Who is this from? Suri Live? Suri Live or GetSuri.com. I never heard of that website. One Kakegurui fan demanded a third season of the existing live-action series rather than a new show altogether. They shared, "Netflix, I understand your desire for more Kakegurui, but you don't need to do this. We just want Kakegurui 3.
Right.
One second person pen. There's literally a fantastic Kakegurui live series out there. What is this?
Oh, I
This is a
understand
crime
that.
against anime." You had, however, a fourth. I guess I skipped one, unless that was two different ones. Admitted to being cautiously optimistic. Right now, I was hopeful, but I fear it's getting to Riverdale. I don't know how that shit was treatment. Another said they were fed up with the adaptations and urged the streamer to stop. And meanwhile, 6 viewers shared, "As someone who never read the manga, this looks cool." Okay, well, that was the first person I saw, but like I said, the one cautiously optimistic. Like normally, outside the 6 ones, like the most positive you could see about is, I'll try, like, to give it the benefit. It doesn't really anyway. Oh yeah, this looks good. It's like they're just. I don't know how much they're hoping that it's good to get it to. Not that they put out of
I'm not
fear that they're gonna
optimistic
put.
at all.
I'm not optimistic of it at all either.
To me, it's a butcher. It shouldn't have been done.
You see the comments are all saying that it looks horrible.
It does.
It's and as a character, you see the plot. The central one was Yumiko, a fighter. A
She
physical
wasn't. That's
fighter.
what we said. She
And
wasn't.
here, I guess she's.
She wasn't.
It's almost like here it's like a black belt or something,
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
And she'd actually like going hand to hand with Midari, which I guess
I don't know.
you see though it was actually in the trailer when they were introduced, and it was said about the CEOs, dictators, assassins, or crime lords.
Yeah.
They had a different thing under. Every fan is calling these characters by the Kakegurui. No, it's like they're not calling them Kira, they're calling them Kirari. Because you could tell they somehow simultaneously change too much and not enough that they're like using the original character as like a crutch.
Yeah.
They're not like their own character enough. They're like a horrible butcher job of the character.
They are. We said it's a ripoff.
But if that was how they're actually introducing them, showing them like what their parents are, then I guess Kira and Riri aren't related at all, because I think under Riri show dictator, Kirari it said CEO or something.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't know.
And so, so like Velma was successful because the first season, because so many people hate watched it that it was streamed. Then it fell off a cliff, I believe, season 2. So sometimes shows are like universally recognized as horrible because I don't know. I think I read one who thought the show was okay. Velma, that was everyone else. I think hated it. Everyone. What do you think it's going to do with this? Bomb?
It's going to bomb.
I don't know if the Kakegurui fans are going to hate watch it, but for a Netflix show, I don't really picture this bringing in anyone who didn't already know Kakegurui. No, but the Kakegurui is nowhere near as popular as Scooby-Doo.
No.
It's not going to have like the whole country watching it. It's going to have anime fans and people who don't like. So I really don't see this being any type of success at all.
Yeah. No, I don't either.
I guess that's it for now.
I think that's it. Hopefully another show will have something good. This one does not. I would love to do one that was actually decent, like Mario. The last,
the Mario movie that we reviewed.
Yes.
Yes.